Hey. Are you want to make me the host?
Yep.
Okay.
Do.
Sure, I got all my ducks in a row here.
Okay, you're hosting, my love.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome. I'll wait till you get rolling and I see a bunch of
Holy
people
moly.
jumping in, and I'll dive out.
Okay, I'm gonna let Lindsay in.
As you see school board members, can you let me know? I'm gonna try and keep my eyes out too, but just in case I miss any.
Yep, so far I think that's Amber Haley, but I'll let you know in a second. Ginny's here. There's a few. Hey, Lindsay, I just let you in. I'm gonna let other people in as they come. There's a bunch in.
Thank you.
I just wanted you to know you made it into the right meeting.
I know, I was like, Wendy said that she had originally sent out the wrong one and then corrected it. So I was like, did I delete the wrong one?
Chris is here.
Okay.
Downing, not Chris Farmer. Sorry. Sorry.
Hello, bro. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing, Abby?
Still in the library. Haven't gone anywhere.
I'm not letting like the general public in for another minute or so. I'm just kind of waiting to see.
Okay.
Um,
You guys want to watch me stress eat chocolate this whole time?
I'll probably turn my video off, honestly.
Yeah, well, throw your mask on, walk your laptop down here and stress eat chocolate with me.
There you go.
Are they lined up at the door to
There's a-
come in?
There's a few people, yeah. Okay, there's Brian.
Okay.
Vincent's iPad, I believe, was.
Okay. I'm gonna go on mute.
Okay. Vincent's iPad is a board member, but I don't remember who it is. So I'll tell you when they get in.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna start admitting everybody.
Yep. As I see him pop in, I'll try to scoop people as well.
Yep. Looks like Amber. Is that Amber Haley? Let's see. So Vincent's iPad, I believe, was a board member last time, but I'm not sure which one.
I think that is Kathy Catrini.
I believe that is correct. Kathy with a C, Katrini with a K, or vice versa?
KC.
Kathy K, Katrini C.
I knew I was going to do it wrong. Ginny's here. Let's see. There's an iPhone. There's a Galaxy S10 that's not named yet. Your student representative, Maya, is here. Chris Farmer is coming in now. There's an Amber. Is that Amber Haley that's in?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I will rename you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Ro, can you run down one more time who's up on the board so far?
Yep, so far I have Amber Haley, you, Chris Farmer, Kathy Catrini, and Ginny. And then there's a Galaxy S10 that's in. If that's somebody on the board, let me know. I can't, here comes another iPhone. Hopefully these folks will let me know who they are. So the iPhone that just came in, if you could identify yourself, and the Galaxy S10, I'm trying to reach you as well. Oh, okay. There's one that's not a board member. Oh, there we go. That's not good. I got you. Paul Reynolds is coming in.
With Paul Reynolds, Brian, that does put us at quorum.
Thanks, Abby.
You're welcome. I'm gonna duck out of video.
Then it looks like I've got a Jeffrey's iPad. If I could get a last name.
It's
That's
Jess,
me.
Ro. It's
Oh, there
Jess.
we go. So there, Abby, there's Jess.
All right, thank you. I got Jess.
There you go, Jess.
I was offline for a second. I just got a call from Mary Richards. She is on my cell speakerphone right now. She has no internet and is unable to dial in for some reason.
Okay, and Deb Ladd is joining now also.
Who is?
Deb
Deb?
Ladd.
Okay.
So I think everybody in the room is named. Everybody from the waiting room is in. I'm gonna mute.
Before you mute, Ro, can you just one more time? I've got
Yep.
Jim, Paul, Chris, Amber, Debbie, Mary, and Kathy. Is that everyone?
Sorry, hold on. Let me run it down. Amber, Brian, Chris Farmer, Deb Ladd, Jess Botcher, Kathy Catrini, Paul, and Ginny.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
All right, everybody, welcome. We're going to call this meeting to order at 6:02. No pledge tonight. The adjustments to the agenda, there is one. I need to add nominations tonight. We'll put that on 7A. That's going to be nomination of Michelle Liberty for K1 teacher beginning on January 1st, I believe, and then also Ashley Ferrara, 4-5 teacher. Those are the only adjustments I have. Anything else, Chris?
No, sir.
Okay. Can I get a motion from somebody to approve the minutes of November 12th, 2020?
I so move.
That's Mary Richards moves. Second.
Second.
I don't know who that was. Can you just give me your name, please?
Yep, Amber.
Thanks, Amber. Any discussion? Okay, we'll go around the room then. All in favor of approving the minutes of November 12th, 2020. Brian is an aye. Ginny? Ginny? All right, come back to her. Paul?
Yes.
Chris?
Hi.
Amber?
Aye.
Yes?
Aye.
Debbie?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And back to Ginny? All right, the motion
Aye.
passes. There we go. Motion passes. Really quickly, tonight, method we'll use for this, since we're on Zoom, is Rowena Hathaway is acting as the moderator. She's joined with me on a shared Google Doc, and she's going to let me know when either somebody in the board chats that they have something that they want to discuss, and I'll call on you, or a member of the public, same thing. She's going to let me know if you've got something that you'd like to say, or you have something you put on a chat to share. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. We did that last time and it worked well, so we'll do it again tonight. The next section is the public comments. Real quick before we go to that, I know there are people here with public comments tonight. If it's about the winter sports, which is one of the action items, you will get a chance to speak there after the administration puts their proposal out. If you'd rather just speak right now, that's fine as well. But I just do want to let you know that if you want to have as much information as possible before you share your comments, you can. I will give you a chance to do that while we're discussing it on item 8 there on the agenda. Anyway, right now, though, any public comments out there? I see nothing on the that Rowena's sharing with me, so we're going to go to the next one. Chair comments, item 6 on the agenda. I just want to, I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, but I want to reiterate everything that's going on at the school, the administration, the work they're putting in, making the decisions that they are making with the information they have that is changing on almost a daily basis, and trying to keep everyone as safe as possible. I want to acknowledge the staff and the support staff and all the work that they are putting in, trying to reinvent the wheel, you know, every week. Are we going to go remote? Are we going to be in person? And how that changes what they're doing, and just the amount of work that they're having to put in to make that all happen. And then obviously the other part of this triad is the parents and the students who are being affected by everything that's going on and the decisions being made, the impact it has on jobs, the impact it has on education, trying to do it remotely at home with people having issues with internet and all the rest of it, and everybody trying to make this school year happen. I want to say, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but there is a finish line in sight. Everybody, administration, staff, parents, students, if we can just keep the press on for the remainder of this school year and try to make this happen as best we can, there is a finish line in sight, and I appreciate all the work that everybody is putting in. I think that's all that I have. I want to real quickly thank all the board members who took part in the training we did yesterday evening. I appreciate you taking the extra time to do that. That's all I've got. Chris, superintendent comments?
Yes, please, and thank you. I'd like to echo what you just said, Brian, and especially thank the staff and the support staff for bearing with us, because we as administrators are getting things changing sometimes hourly during the day. And also, I normally don't get to say this, I don't get to see many people anymore, and that is thank you to the students and the parents for bearing with us as well. We look at these decisions and we really contemplate all the different scenarios, and thank you. I just want to come right out and say thank you to everybody. CRF update, you've probably heard that's the Coronavirus Relief Fund. That is at a point now where school systems are putting their invoices into the state. We have until December 30th to have those done. Sheila's been getting those done. There is no CRF3 that has been talked about around the state. And the other is we do not know any, we meaning superintendents and school systems, if there's going to be any more relief funds released after January. So we're working with what we have and doing a lot of things to take care of it. And finally, the MPA, Maine Principal Association, we're going to deal with that on a later thing, so I'm not going to address that right now. But those are probably the 3 major items that we have been dealing with administratively and within the school system.
All right, thanks, Chris. Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, I would also like to reiterate that, you know, I can't thank the staff enough for their flexibility with our decision making. I know it doesn't make it easy when we're making decisions on a weekly basis. But, we really feel like this is the best way to approach this moving forward. And we appreciate everybody's flexibility. And I really appreciate all the families out there that are working so hard to support their children at home. I know this isn't easy, and you guys have just been wonderful. So I agree with Brian. Let's hang in there, and I do see the light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully if we can just work together, we're going to come out of this stronger. As far as what we have been working at here in the building, as Chris said, we're really working hard at trying to stay up to date with the information that the state continues to send out to us daily. It's a full-time job just trying to keep up with the information that's coming out right now to us. We're working with teams right now, especially at the elementary level, in looking at some more creative ways and how we can support our remote learners. The numbers of those sort of keep changing. They go up and they go down. And so we're really just trying to, and for, the kids that are remote, there's a lot of things that come up at home that, there are challenges that we're trying to work with families on. So we're continuing to do that. We are beginning our budget process. So budgets for staff are due when we come back from Christmas break, and then we'll be diving into our budget process. I would just really like to give a shout out to our student services team. The fact that we have right now a full-time therapist and a full-time behavior specialist. We have a guidance counselor and an apprentice guidance counselor. We have a social worker. We actually have 2 social workers that are working with us. Joanne Dixon, we can put in there too. I think I can, and Heidi, who is our guidance counselor, I think I can safely say with great confidence that I feel like right now we probably have one of the best student services teams in the state, and they are doing some really great work. And I'm super proud of the creative ways that they're addressing students' needs right now. It's pretty amazing. We are, just for your information, we're running lunches every day. The lunches are free to any students, 0 to 18. So if you know of families out there that could use lunches, please let us know. We're running buses. Those buses are delivering lunches. We're also delivering school supplies, and just really trying to keep everybody busy and working. And everybody seems to be pretty happy about buses coming to their homes and dropping things off at the doorsteps. And our maintenance and custodial crews, they are doing some projects in-house to continue to make the building look good. Right now they're sanding all of the older classroom doors and making those look new again. And so thank you to them, and thank you to Jeff. And that's really all I got right now.
Okay, thanks, Georgia. Student reps, Autumn and Maya, are you guys here?
Autumn's not here. She's sick, but she worked with me to put together what to say. But basically, remote learning's going really good, and all of the students that we've talked to, I really appreciate all the work that the staff and the administration is putting in to make it easier for everyone, and we are really excited to hopefully go back. But either way, we really appreciate all of the hard work put in, because we recognize how challenging it is for everybody.
Thanks, Maya. Committee reports, policy committee, Kathy.
Am I unmuted? Wait a minute. Yes, I am. I just want to say we had to cancel December's meeting again because of this COVID thing had erupted just at the time of the meeting, and everybody was a little overwhelmed. But there will be a meeting on January 6th. And unless it's absolutely terrible, I will make sure I hold that meeting and get caught up on our policy stuff. That's it.
All right, thanks, Kathy. Finance Committee met today just prior to this. Talked about, there was some talk of changing up the way we do unemployment based on the way we've done it in the past. With direct reimbursement had gotten fairly expensive starting this past summer. But switching to the other program would have been even more expensive in the short term for the next 3 years, essentially. So we are going to just stick with the plan we've had for quite a while. The staff positions, which are up for nomination tonight, that came about because those were funded through CRF funds. Those run out on 31 December, and there is currently no further CRF funds on the horizon right now. So we have, Sheila Raymond put together a transition,
I'm gonna get some later.
some movement between cost centers of funding to continue to fund those two positions that we're putting up for nomination tonight, and some other positions as well that don't actually need to be nominated. The long story short is that by moving some of those funds around, we can continue to keep those positions in place that we added due to COVID-19. School nutrition program, Georgia already talked about that a little bit. It's available to everyone to come and get free lunch. So if you can get the word out to people who might not know, who might not be clued into what's going on at the school, it applies to everyone. Kids that are homeschool, everyone can take part in that. So please get the word out. We did talk about that as well. And then the financial statement for the this past month, everything is looking good right now. There's nothing to report there. Saving money in some areas because of COVID related stuff, and spending a little more on others like facilities to get stuff done while people aren't in the building. That's it for finance. Facilities, Jenny?
Yes, we met today. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We met today, and one of the major topics is the air purification system. We're looking into cost and funding and what system might be best for the school. And hopefully we can get that in place this year. Then Jeff and Sheila and Chris Downing are working on next year's budget as we get ready for budget season. And the same thing again, looking at the budget we're existing in right now and how is that budget going for funds. And then the last thing we did is we looked at a report that was done in, I think, 2013, the Taylor report as part of the building project. And it was one of the first documents we used looking at what we might do for a building project. And we went through the list of things that this company had identified as things we needed to do. We looked at what we have actually accomplished, which obviously the building project accomplished. And from that, we're beginning the projects that they suggested remain, and looking at what we, what the school we also recognize needs to be done. We're looking at our 5-year plan with the goal of setting aside funds at this point and annually to have money to support the long-term projects in the school.
Okay,
That's
thanks,
it.
Jenny. Team leader report, Seth?
Brian, I have a quick question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Jenny, with respect to the purification system that you're looking at, is there any room for CRF funds to be utilized for that project before the end of December?
Yeah, Chris can answer that.
The answer, Mary, is no. The CRF one, when that first came out, we had to have what we were going to look at by October 15th. And then when the CRF 2 came out, we had to have that done by November 1st. And the monies that were distributed to RSU 78 were recommended, accepted. And then the O2 started, the O2 ionizer started to be discussed. And if there had been CRF 3 funding, we would have used that. But in trying to get that. The state did not have CRF3 funding available. So that's why we're now at a point where we're going to gain as much information as possible before either looking at that in the current year, or is that something that we should look at later on? But right now, there is no more CRF monies out there available to schools that were not already predetermined back in October and November.
Okay, I appreciate that answer, Chris. And is there any inkling on the part of the state that there might be a 3, or is that pretty much a remote possibility?
That is a very, very remote possibility. I would say almost nil. And the other is that as far as anything coming in the year 21, there's been actually no talk about that at this point.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Okay, Seth, team leader report.
Yeah, at the team levels, pretty much all the energy right now is just going into planning and delivering instruction, switching between learning models over the last month. We've done that a few times, and that takes a lot of energy. I keep saying I wish I'd have recorded around the school the last couple Mondays of how when everyone things getting pulled together to be shipped out. It's pretty neat to watch how everyone's coming together and doing their part and filling boxes and loading buses. So the team level, that's where the work's been happening. At leadership team, I've been struggling a little bit this year, from my role, like trying to plan things. You plan something for when you're in person and then you go remote and that falls apart. So I kind of went to the team and said, look, one thing we can do, we were thinking about curriculum long-term and mapping long-term. I said, what we might want to do is map some short-term. I've been to a few meetings with other schools and looking at like the impact on COVID on our curriculum and where we are in it. So we came up with a plan. We are going to do, our plan is to do an assessment, school-wide assessment, NUIAs, in January, and then begin looking at the data and start making like a priority curriculum map, like where are the holes that have been created by the disruption to learning, and kind of make, I read somewhere, they called it kind of a 2 to 3 year highway to get back into where we were before. It may not be as bad as we think, but there seems to be some holes developing. And as we go back and forth, you lose some ground. So I'm kind of looking forward to finally having some focus there with curriculum. And, the K-5 has already done a little bit with math. We mapped some of the things we didn't get to last year. So we are doing beginning work to look at the impact of all this on our learning and see what we have to do in the next year or two to correct the ship. There's some preliminary data out for the NUIA around the country that the fall testing didn't appear as bad as some thought it was going to be. Around the country, about 4 million kids did take the NUIA in the fall. And then again, some of the more at-risk school districts did not take it. So the data is a little skewed towards schools that had the technology and the means to do that remotely. So, but that's promising. I don't know if I reported this last month, but I have been working, Linda Fines and I have been working with Saddleback. We have another meeting next week about offering the ski program again this winter in some form at the Mount for the kids on Wednesdays. So we are working on that. And the final thing is our high school social studies teacher, Miriam Amami, recently presented at the National Social Studies Conference with a fellow from the Harvard Department of Philosophy about how we argue and argument mapping. And that was a really good presentation. So some of our teachers are still out there doing some professional stuff and presenting. So that's all I have. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Seth. We added the adjustment to the agenda. We're going to call it 7A, appointments, resignations, and nominations. Chris?
I do have one resignation before we start the 2 nominations. Greg Cooper, our custodian bus driver, resigned earlier this month, and that's my only resignation.
Okay, and nominations?
I have 2. Do you want to take them one at a time?
Yeah, let's do it one at a time.
Okay.
You know what? Actually, Chris, let's do them both together. So we only have to go around the room once.
Okay. We are recommending Michelle Liberty to continue as the the K-1 instructor, and Ashley Ferrara as the 4-5 instructor for the remainder of the school year.
Okay, can I get a motion to nominate Michelle Liberty to continue as the K-1 instructor and Ashley Farrar as the 4-5 instructor for the remainder of the school year?
So moved.
I had, I think Paul, and who else was in there?
Chris.
Chris is a second. Any discussion? So I kind of hit on this, the Finance Committee. This is the result of the CRF funds running out 31 December. Movement money within cost centers. We do have the funds available from savings elsewhere in the current budget to continue these through the remainder of the school year. Anybody have anything else? Okay, go around the room. Ginny. All in favor, Ginny?
Yes, I am.
Paul?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Claire?
Aye.
Amber?
Aye.
Jess?
That's my
Aye.
fourth.
Debbie?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And Brian is an aye as well. Motion passes.
Brian, I just have a quick question. With Greg Cooper's resignation, I know we always have a problem having a full complement of bus drivers on staff. Does that in any way jeopardize what we're doing currently with delivery of instructional materials and food and such?
Can anyone answer that?
No, it doesn't. We're still good.
Oh, good. Okay.
Chris Farmer, I'm sorry, but it looks like I missed you trying to get a comment in there.
Yeah, I added some questions, but it was before the previous item from the team leader report. So I'll let you wrap up this section. Is there a way I can go back and ask that question?
Let's just do it now. Go ahead.
Okay, so we had talked about a couple months ago, Seth touched a little bit on this, the NUIA. Did we get any kind of real curriculum, that kind of update we talked about a couple months ago with the results and those pieces? Maybe I missed part of it because I had to step off for a few seconds, but did we get some kind of a comprehensive report to the board, kind of a snapshot of where we're at? I didn't see it in our materials.
We've been trying, so I had a NUIA plan for November. We went remote. They were like, we'll try to do it when we get back. And then there was a disruption, we went remote again. So our plan now is that the first in-person week, second semester, we are going to do NUIA's 3 through 11 and assessments K and 2. And once we do that, I will bring something to the board. We just haven't been able to fit it in. In the beginning, we waited and then the disruption. But as soon as we do that winter testing and I have a couple of days to look at it, I'll bring it to the board. We have a little bit of data that I just got back. It looks pretty normal. But there was only about 12 kids that took the PSATs and SATs.
Fair enough. Now, if my understanding is that the NUIA data isn't instant, it takes a while to get, is that correct? So would it be safe to say that you won't have it for our January meeting, be more like our February?
I think if we pull off the test when we want to, right off in January, I can have it for February. The data is quick. It'll just take me a little while to pull it together in a way that makes sense for everyone and is clear. But yeah, I can have that for February. And that'll be the first testing we've done since last March. So it should be fairly telling of, where we are and what we need to do. So yeah.
All right, thank you for clarifying that.
Welcome. Thanks for the question.
Sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to interrupt. I think it'll also be interesting because I believe that the national reporting, Seth, if I'm correct, is also predicated on NUIA data that's saying that kids have lost about 4 to 5 months in mathematics and about 2 to 3 months in reading. Is that based on NUIA?
What I read about NUIA was the math was about a 5 to 10% slide, with reading a little bit less. But in that short study they did, one really important thing to remember is that 4 million kids that tested were not your at-risk schools or your schools without the means to do this. It was more of your traditionally high-performing schools, so they're not where they're optimistic initially at this data. It's kind of like with caution, But I didn't hear about the months, the time. I just heard about the percent and the increase. So yeah.
They can also though talk about inner city schools, African American and Hispanic populations tended to lose more instructional ground than I think the school systems that you're referring to that were tested by NUIA. So it'd be interesting for us to kind of have that when you report the NUIA data to us about Rangeley kids, to have that context of schools nationally, if it's possible for you to do that when you talk about the data.
Yeah, I'll do my best of what I can dig up. I have the national norms. There's new national norms, but yeah, I'll do my best to.
I appreciate that, Seth, very much. Even within the context of the state, how many school districts currently are using NUIA as their yardstick?
I'm not sure. A lot of them are, but recently at a meeting with teachers from our area, the Western Maine area, there was a couple that do not use it. So I was surprised at that because I thought most, Chris maybe could answer that better, but I think a large majority of the schools in the state use it.
I think you're right. I think the majority of districts do, but that would be a nice context to have too. That might be more relevant for us than even national data.
And actually, one interesting thing to follow is it looks like even our state assessments in the spring may be leaning towards NUIAs now. So that's kind of exciting news. So we'll see where that goes.
Thank you, Seth.
You're welcome.
Okay, on to the action items. Discussion decision on the guidance and procedures from the MPA winter sports season guidelines. We're going to start with the administration and let them talk about this, and we'll go from there to public comments, and then we'll do a board motion and discussion from there, or board discussion, excuse me, from there. Chris?
Yes, I will speak on behalf of the administration, and that is our recommendation is to follow the MPA guidelines that were established with basketball in phase 1 through the month of December till January 4th, when a reassessment will be done. In phase 1, that's individual skills and drills. There's no team intramural style scrimmaging, nor are there team drills. And students as well as coaches have to be masked at all times. And with skiing, it will be per the bulletin, which has the specifics of where the skiers will have their warming, which would be the buses and things of that nature. And those dates would be for Rangeley would start December 14th, which is this coming Monday, and would follow the guidelines with no competition until, I believe it's January 11th. So we're looking at the MPA guidelines as being something that we recommend to follow. They've been vetted by both the Maine Principals Association, the Department of Health and Human Services, Maine's Principals Association, obviously, the Maine School Superintendents Association, and the Community Sports Committee that meets as well, and the CDC.
And just to piggyback on the superintendent there, the reason for the difference between those two sports is that skiing has been determined to be a low-risk activity. Basketball is a moderate-risk activity. That's why there is the difference between those two.
That is correct.
One other thing to point out is the county color codes are also going to determine things for all sports. So right now, Franklin and green, what we're talking about applies. If Franklin goes back to yellow, all practices, competitions, that stuff all stops for all sports, not just moderate risk, but also low risk.
Correct.
All right. From here, the public comments. Does anybody have anything? I'm not showing anything coming up. Go ahead, Ro.
I've got nothing so far.
Okay. All right, over to the board to discuss, and then from there we can make a motion as need be. Any board members? Chris?
I think it's pretty clear from what we have for direction from the MPA in this case. I think they did a little bit better job than this fall on these pieces. So I don't think it's going to hurt us as a board to go with the staff, for the community to go with the staff recommendation of following those guidelines at this point. We can reevaluate things at the January meeting, the way things are outlined.
And I just, Chris Downing, when you said reevaluate come January 4th, did you mean administration to reevaluate and determine what to do from there?
I would recommend that the administration reevaluate, because one of the things that will happen between now and the January 4th will be looking at schools within the region for interscholastic competition games. And we do not know at this time what schedules will look like. There are some, schools that are choosing not to have winter sports. So that's where the administration meaning the athletic directors, would have to look at the potential of interscholastic activities. And there may be very few, there may be enough to reach the MPA guideline of 12 games. And by the way, with those guidelines, there is no tournament play this year. And there is also no fans allowed in the gymnasiums for the games. That's the reason why in our CRF funds, we have put in for the equipment to do live streaming of the games. So that's why we've recommended the January 4th reevaluation date to look at, are we going to look at moving from phase 1 to phase 2, and then into phase 3, which would be potential for interscholastic games.
Any other board discussion?
Chris, Brian, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, this is Kathy Catrini. I was just wanting to know if you could repeat what phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 are. I didn't catch them all.
Yes, phase 1 is individual skills and drills. That means, I'm going to use basketball as an example. You could have a participant at the foul line shooting foul shots. You could have another at another basket working on, rebounding, another somewhere in the gym working on dribbling. But you can't have people within, guarding each other or having scrimmages amongst your own players. That's phase 1. They call it individual drills and skills. Phase 2 and 3 are where you start to have team activities, team drills. Could be, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, could be an actual 5-on-5, but it has to be within your own school. You cannot go out and have a scrimmage or an exhibition game with another school.
Okay.
So phase 4, phase 4, you actually start to have interscholastic within your region.
Yeah.
So that would be, for us, it would be Franklin County or within that region. And then phase 5 would be opening up the region to more state competition, but no tournaments.
Okay. So you're saying that we would stay in phase 1 until January 4th?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, great. Thanks. That's what I wanted to know.
Yep.
Thank you. That was great.
For basketball, Kathy, just the basketball. For skiing, what's considered low risk.
Yes. Understood.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mary, you had something?
Yeah, I was just curious. The county codes and if we fall back into yellow, it would suspend all of this. Are those determinations made on a monthly basis, or are they predicated on the number of COVID cases in the county at a particular point in time?
When the color code first came out, it was established, it was going to be a bi-weekly determination, so 2 a month. Then when the cases, this was actually back in November, there were some counties that started to have more cases. Matter of fact, the school system down in Searsport that I work at, we had an outbreak at a church which affected the entire Waldo County. So that then put us into yellow. Since that time, because of the number of cases that have gone up around the state, you're seeing more counties become yellow, and they can go from green to yellow, back to green. We have not seen, we meaning school systems, any school system go into a red county. But if that was to happen, that brings a whole bunch of changes. But the yellow designation, as far as what we're talking about, that being sports, would make practices come to an end until that designation would go away. And like I say, it's now become weekly. It's almost every Friday we look to see, well, what color are we? So that's what's happening.
Having said that then, Chris, you know, this January the 4th sort of line in the sand with respect to making a decision, we could make a decision subsequent to that, or it would be made for us, were our code to change to yellow at any point in time at the end of a week.
That is correct. I mean, the yellow is sort of the statewide. What we have said, we meaning superintendents, is we're going to make a determination based on what's best for our kids and our staff and our community, which is something that we have to look at.
Okay, I think that's terrific. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And Chris, would you, the same criteria that you're using to make the determination about going remote, that kind of stuff, would you be following the same criteria that you and the administration are using to make those determinations to determine what you want to do with sports?
Yes, I think it's imperative that you do, because that was one of the questions that came up in the fall. I think what the Maine Principals Association made a decision, and Chris Farmer sort of referred to it, but didn't specifically say it, was the whole thing about being masked up during competition, during practice. It's a requirement now. It's what we have to do for school as well. So the answer is yes.
Any other board discussion? Okay, I'd like to make a motion then to move forward with the winter sports season based on the MPA guidelines as laid out by the superintendent.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Kathy.
Kathy?
Yep.
Any further discussion? Okay, we'll go around aye or nay. Ginny?
Yes.
Paul?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Claire?
Aye.
Amber?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Debbie?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And Brian is aye. Motion passes. Okay, now can I get a motion to enter into executive session regarding personnel pursuant to Title I MSRA Section 405 subsection 6A. That's Mary, second.
Second.
Aye.
I think I heard Kathy. Unfortunately, we need to go around the room one more time here. Ginny?
Yes.
Paul?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Claire?
Aye.
Amber?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Debbie?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And Brian is aye. The motion passes. We're going to enter executive session at 6:44. I'm going to let you know what's going to happen. Go ahead, Ro.
I have a little issue here because I just realized that I don't have breakout room as an option in this meeting, like
Okay.
I normally do. So
Oh,
we're
boy.
gonna have to come up with another.
All right. This is well, this is interesting.
So, well, we can,
I'm just going to make a new Zoom right now, and I'm going to email it to. Chris, did you have something?
well, why can't she just remove all of the participants there
Oh.
as admin? She can do that.
Yeah, I can put everybody in the waiting room and then bring people back as you. Yeah, that works.
Hold on one sec, though. Want to keep recording?
I can pause the recording.
Okay, let's take a discussion.
The only question I had was obviously going to update the dates and those pieces that from based on last year's, correct? We're just moving
Sure,
forward.
so we'll update, everything will stay the same except for the dates and the signature.
And who the
Thank you.
chairman is.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll go around the room here. All in favor, Ginny,
Aye.
Paul? Paul, you there?
Aye.
Chris,
Definitely aye.
Claire,
Aye.
Amber,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Debbie,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
and Kathy?
Aye.
And Brian is an aye. Motion passes. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you
And
all.
a motion to adjourn. I will make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second.
Heard Chris first. Is there anybody who's opposed to that? All right. Motion passes. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, happy holidays to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Same
Yep.
to you.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Safe travels.
You too.